Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? This is the DST show. How's everybody having their wonderful Thursday night? I'm not. Besides that, we have some reoccurring news here in the NBA. When betting on yourself and opening the market backfires, I can't say that it would have been that I would have done the same thing. Surprising after a solid year with the Denver Nuggets. Yet, I guess it's because like Russell Westbrook still thinks like he'll get a lucrative amount of minutes per share on a minimum deal when the Nuggets can just bet on their younger core and still put over a recreational like still above 500 seed of production without gambling on Westbrook. That even though he was a productive player. Like we could check the numbers right now that he has over display right here over the 24-25 season. 23% from the field, going 45 from field goal percentage. 66 is probably his foul shots, and of course 32% is probably his 3 points. While his true shooting percentage went down to 52. That's the highest since his time in Houston when he was still putting over a triple-double. The last time he was heavily productive after before his last All-NBA season when he was with the Washington Wizards. But you're putting over rotation area numbers for a certified six-man. And it seems like the only interest that he's getting around the NBA, honestly, is coming out of the Sacramento Kings. So any other contending team, they already know that you're going to get an inefficient, inefficient, less spacing, predominant six-man that's going to be putting a heavy amount of minutes that can't really fit over the ball, that is too reliant on controlling, having the being a predominant ball carrier and wasting possession, and is very inefficient from behind the arc. Not a lot of teams are going to gamble over that, especially with certified younger, taller, and more efficient guards in the NBA. Even with Indiana struggles at the point guard position after losing Tyrese Halliburton due to an Achilles tear. They're not gambling on that. They got a bunch of backup guards that can take over Tyrese Halliburton. So what would be the point? I'm not even trying to be pessimistic. I love Russell Westbrook, but I think a lot of people are way too concerned for his production from damn near 8 years ago. Westbrook's been on the decline since his LA Lakers experiment over to be a super team. And when that flopped, he just became a bona fide six-man the time when they traded away all of the assets so he can play as a six-man on the Clippers. And then Chris Dunn was playing better than him. And I'm not even saying that to even try to be different. I just don't like when we're just bona fidely like, this is what Father Time does for you. You're pushing a vet minimum for a floor spacing one guard that's inefficient around the floor, doesn't have the best basketball IQ, and is obviously Westbrook with this motor still thinks he can play around an average 35 minutes a game. Russell hasn't been a person that doesn't want to feel like he's not involved in the team. For a person that played around an average 32% from the field, that's not going to be good enough. And Westbrook's at least playing like the lowest amount of minutes per game He's being a more recreational like backup guard for cheaper when you can just push over a rookie contract for a bona fide rental piece. Sacramento, sadly, is the only. It sucks, Russell. People were expecting like a swan song for him to go over to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. People were thinking the same thing for Kevin Durant until his trade deal that involved like seven NBA teams, and Kevin Durant's only a few years older. No, I think he's like a few years younger than Westbrook. Russell Westbrook remains a free agent into the summer after choosing not to pick up a $3.5 million player option for the Denver Nuggets. So far, the market has not responded. The Sacramento Kings are the only team with the most mentions having a genuine interest. But unless or until the trade and Malik Monk and Devin Carter or waive a non-guaranteed player, which is unlikely, the Kings will not have – and plus Dennis Schroeder's on the team. Like, there will barely be a minimum – for Westbrook to compete to be a third option one guard. When you have Keon Ellis. You forgot the Kings got Keon Ellis, Malik Monk, and they picked up a veteran guard that's younger, more efficient, and can actually space the floor on offense. I'm sorry, somebody calling me? I apologize, folks. Yeah, I'm aware. Miss. Apologize. Group chat call. Yeah, but you guys still feel like there's a team fit for Russell Westbrook? Westbrook, Mr. Triple Double. He's been relatively an All NBA player all the way from the early 2010s from his time in OKC to his last season over in Washington, and he was still relatively productive, playing 65 starts over in the bubble era, being 11th in consideration for MVP, and still averaging over a triple double. Being possibly an MVP caliber player from like 2016, 2015 to like you would say around 2017, 18 or 2018-19 over his last season when he just turned 30, when he was carrying Paul George. He was an all NBA leading assist player, and he's learned how to be more of a predominant attacker of the rim, space out over in the floor. He's good on the pick and roll. Westbrook is a good energy guy. He can attack over the rim. He can still push over a blow by. IQ hasn't been used a lot for attacking around the rim. He's more like step forward for an inside shot. He'll get the open three because NBA teams just do not respect his shot in the modern day. And there's like a massive love for players like Westbrook. If you're a fan of Derrick Rose in his prime, if you're a fan of guys like John Wall, like these inside attacking, slashing one guards that have shown to not lead a team unless you have a very effective outside shot like a Steph Curry, like a Jalen Brunson, like a Luka Doncic. Like if you're attacking from long range and you're like under 6'3", There's just a massive charm to be doing that apparently in the NBA level. And I get it. Like, I love John Wall. But him saying that he could have beaten LeBron James around the 2018 when he had Marcin Gortat, I think it was Markieff or Marcus Morris, Kelly Oubre when he was young, back when Otto Porter Jr. was his option at the wing next to Bradley Beal, that was like the second highest scorer on the team. And John Wall, he thought that would be the easiest matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You guys lost to a Boston Celtics team with Isaiah Thomas being the leading scorer in the league. Where were you guys when you guys were playing a young Jason Tatum? No, I don't think Jason Tatum was drafted yet. I think the time Jason Tatum was drafted, Isaiah Thomas was off the team in 2017-18. He was off to Cleveland for the Kyrie Irving trade. Where is the excuse there? And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer because, of course, I swear, John Wall, it felt like that guy was retired for like a whole year, a whole 3 years since his time in Houston. After the trade to Houston, John Wall was absolutely invisible. He was absolutely invisible. If we look over on John Wall, 5 All-Star appearances. He made all-rookie first team. He was, I think, drafted around 2010. I think Paul George is the only active NBA player drafted around 2010, coming over as a first overall guard, as a first overall pick. He's 34 years old, but he hasn't suited up since he was 32, back when he was signed over on the Clippers. He sat out over a tub injury. I think he tore his MCL as well. So he's just been DPOI. The last time he was even actually relevant was his last season in Washington back in the 2018-19. Instead, he came from like 77 games, relative effective score. He was a decent perimeter defender, but not really all NBA level, all defense, Tony Allen level. But he was athletic enough to try to reach you over the glass, go for the chase down, push over for fast break defense, straight over to points. It was a good enough effectiveness of attacking over the rim. He had a way better jump shot than Derrick Rose in the latter half of his career. I think Derrick Rose, you could say, has a better case to make a Hall of Fame caliber nomination, knowing the overall slobbering of attacking. Like, if you have a deep bag at the one position, they're going to glaze you more than a traditional one point guard. I swear, as you speak, there are more people that would be like if Kyrie Irving left us. Not in the mortal coil. Please, chill. I'm going to say this politely. If Kyrie Irving retired before Chris Paul, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has won an NBA title since 2016. We had the WWE title change hands twice the same night. They won Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors. Last time Kyrie Irving won the NBA championship, Dean Ambrose was still under contract. Bray Wyatt was still alive. I was still in high school, fam. Like, and don't get me wrong, Kyrie Irving was an All-NBA guard in his stint in Cleveland. I'm sure there's still some records to be broken, especially with the amount of dribbling, All-NBA assists. I felt like Kyrie was an all-around scorer since his first stint in Boston. And that was after the Gordon Hayward injury, so he had to step up highly in production. But obviously shown not to be a proven number one option. At the one, knowing his sizing, he's a defensive liability and can't space out the floor as much as he can, even though he can dime it off the pick and roll. While like you have a relatively more in tune floor general that has a higher winning percentage, has a higher tenure, has been more impactful in the amount of playoff seams, has appeared in an NBA Finals while being like the second option at the one, has been an MVP candidacy. Name me the first time Kyrie Irving was an MVP candidacy. Kyrie Irving is a man without a kingdom. in the NBA. And I think that's going to spike like his legacy in the long run. And people be hating on Kevin Durant's legacy for what he's done, predominantly because whenever they try to hate on a man's career, they try to put it over as that he wasn't the key guy in the franchise. So where's the glaze for Kyrie Irving coming from when he's predominantly shown to not be the number one option? And as soon as he left Boston, they've made a conference finals like 3 times in their 5 seasons, won an NBA championship after Ime Udoka was caught in an affair with one of the employees in the facilities. And had to be coached by the second option coach, by the assistant coach, and become an NBA champion. Kyrie Irving has now tore his ACL, has to work being the third or second option on a team with the key and now the key piece is probably going to be rookie Cooper Flag. Losing Luka Doncic, and he's like 34 years old, 33 years old. You're telling me that Kyrie Irving has a chance to win an NBA title? Like, come on, guys. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Kyrie Irving is the most loved in the streets for the amount of times he's been in the league. Like, people in the hood love Kyrie Irving. But a person that's probably deserving of a more Hall of Fame caliber career is Chris Paul over John Wall. Kyrie Irving. Yeah, Kyrie. I feel like we glazed the shit out of Kyrie Irving a bit too much. Hell, even Kyle Lowry probably going to make a Hall of Fame caliber career over Kyrie Irving. Look at this. Dallas, Boston, his failed stint of a super team in Brooklyn. He's only going to make it over in the Hall of Fame for his time over in Cleveland. Because that was the last time he was an MVP candidacy after his All-Star stint, when he played 50 games, by the way. After, I think he tore his ACL in the play-in. No, it was before the play-in. Anthony Davis was the key contributor there. Oh, God. We got other news. If you guys don't know, tenured female analyst for ESPN has demoted Hall of Fame. ESPN has now demoted Hall of Famer Doris Burke from its NBA Finals team to promote long-term network commentator Tim Leisure to its one team source debriefed the decision to The Athletic. Legler will pair with a long-term lead play-by-play Mike Breen and Richard Jefferson on the finals. So Doris Burke, after her cringe commentary, has finally left the building
from behind and gets a piece of it. You have to know when to come. So Chris does a great job. Giannis comes from behind and gets a piece of it. Like, it's not just when you come.
People are celebrating. Even Malika Andrews probably brought up what she did over in college, sucking off everybody from the broadcast crew to start off her career. Like, goddamn. Doris Burke is a good sideline analyst. I don't think at all she meshed with the team. Doris Burke is the equivalent to when Renee, if you guys don't know who Renee is, she used to be on WWE. She's now on AEW. She was on commentary with, I think, Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, or I think when Booker T was still there. Try to put her as a third female analyst because of her interviewing. Bro, let me tell you, she was fucking cringe. She was cringe, bro. I think it's Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was so cheeks, fam. When like we're pushing like when we're pushing people like Doris Burke that like cringe, that are cringeful. I think she also made like a French joke back when I think the Spurs were playing at Christmas. Or I think it was when the Timberwolves were playing the Nuggets. And yeah, something to do with Rudy Gobert. It was so trash, fam. It was so trash. What else we got today? Darvin Ham says that Greek national team runs more sets than the Bucks, and Giannis has to play more of a Superman role in Milwaukee.
We do in the NBA, but in the NBA, his usage rate is off the charts. He always constantly has the ball in his hand, so a little bit different role for him over there. He does a great job to include his teammates. I can't stress that enough. He does a great job including his teammates and allowing things.
This for all the people that feel like Giannis Antetokounmpo just dribbles down the lane and attacks the rim. There's more into Giannis Antetokounmpo's game. Darvin Ham was right about the usage rate because in European basket, they really are very reluctant on ball movement, and the usage rate of a key scorer is probably going to be around like at least the most dribbles, but it's still going to be relatively lower than the NBA average because of how much they're really reliant on ball movement. Pause. And we're getting some interest involving anonymous NBA executive saying Anthony Simons will lead the Celtics in scoring. But there's still been interest for him. I bet there will be a leading scorer. Even with Jalen, he's going to have the ball a lot. But the dude can really score offense. I know they're going to be heavily more offensively paired, but we know how depleted they are, especially in the front court. I don't know if the Boston Celtics will probably still push over a play-in opportunity. You guys think they can still pull it off with the current whereabouts in the postseason? Because the Eastern Conference is just so fucked. It's so fucked. You guys could probably say the Cavaliers have an inexcusable chance not to take over still a 1 seed with the New York Knicks somehow holding on financially, especially with Jalen Brunson's pay cut. And then you have picking up Gerjan Yabusele and Jordan Clarkson as depth pieces. Veteran depth pieces. That's, I think, what Thibodeau's main concern was. And now the Boston Celtics are now stuck with... Oh, wait, no, that's from last year. Yeah, they do not have this team anymore. Why they say Kristaps Porzingis? He's in Atlanta. Hold on, he's in Atlanta. Yeah, Kristaps Porzingis is on Atlanta. This makes no sense. ESPN, update your fucking website. Also, great news. There's love in the air. French Montana has married a princess from Dubai that looks like Kim Kardashian. Why does she look like Kim Kardashian? Sleeper teams, the Cleveland Browns. Let's look at the great LeBron saying that the Cleveland Browns... You're having a laugh. You think that usually Super Bowl hangovers hit hard, even for the losing team. You're going to lose so much acquisition, especially in the secondary like the Chiefs did, especially with legal troubles from even their offensive linemen. We'll probably still get a productive season where Patrick Mahomes, even if it's his worst season. And oh my God, Travis Kelce, since he's made a relationship with Taylor Swift, his production has took a slip. He's obviously under the decline. In his later age. Oh God, and they do the Lamar Jackson meme. Oh Jesus. Doris Burke has agreed on a multi-year extension with ESPN, but she is cut out of the NBA Finals broadcast crew for ESPN. Oh, thank the gods! Thank the gods! Oh my God! I'm trying to look up some meme pages too, because I understand we also have the NFL. The NFL coming back, baby! The NFL's coming back! Thankfully, I get paid today. You guys watch NBA Africa? Please, God, don't tell me you guys watch NBA Africa. For ice cold take, if KD was born during the other era than LeBron's, he'd be led into GOAT talks. Yeah, dependably so. Knowing his production is very impressive, especially for his age. His longevity, and he's been shown to be a key contributor. He is an MVP as well. Kevin Durant has accomplished a lot in his NBA career. Hell, the same thing could have been said about Damian Lillard. DeMarcus Cousins as well. He would have fit back in the 90s. Knowing his versatility on his inside game, very aggressive around the inside game, one of the more underrated shot blockers. He was an all-NBA forward, especially at the era when, like, probably the top five at his position was DeAndre Jordan. Back in the day, you probably need an attacking guard, a good power forward, or because I think the most consistent unicorn at the time was like Kevin Love, or you just needed a dynamic wing player. And back in the day, like you got your Kawhi Leonard, your Paul George, Danny Granger when he was there, Rudy Gay. If you guys remember Rudy Gay when he was younger, instead of him being a journeyman later in his career. And now you need somebody to space the floor more efficient. Everybody needs to be a Kyle Korver, needs to space over like a Ray Allen, can move the ball like Nikola Jokic while space out and attack the rim, backdoor cut. Like it's more like the NBA has evolved to so tactically sound than ever. You're going to see blowouts when an NBA team finds you out. Like that's why certain teams that you expect from 10 years ago would have been 70 game winning streak to now they'll probably put out like 40 games, 30 wins, like 41 wins would be a minimum, would be an accomplishment. Like what people were expecting from the 2021 Lakers. That would have been so great 15 to 10 years ago. Statistically, Boogie Cousins is the greatest Laker ever. Won a chip every season. He was there. Never lost a game when they were with them. Oh my God. Oh, hell no. Why is there the two LeBron James there? Jeff Green and Kevin Durant have been reunited again in Houston. Oh yeah, I forgot Unc Green was with them. Young Jeff Green. Jesus Christ. Kevin Durant hasn't changed much except his haircut routine. You have never seen Kevin Durant with a different haircut. While Jeff Green has like changed. Even though he's just a better Udonis Haslem. Oh God, I forgot he was in Brooklyn. I think his longest tenure, because we know like Jeff Green has been a relatively older veteran. Bro. I expect this to be DM'd. I'm not even gonna give this like any entertainment. Yeah, I think most of his tenure was in Denver. Yeah. Like the high IQ off Giannis is insane. He pushes the collision because Gary Payton Jr. was going for the reach, takes the collision over with the help defense with Klay Thompson. Nobody sees the corner. Giannis with the no look overhead I think that was the Grayson Allen. That's insane. Oh my god. Luka using Ozempic. Luka's using Ozempic and he's gonna be an MVP. He's injury prone. Jesus Christ, you put Zion Williamson in Ozempic. I'll stop using. Everybody's gonna stop using the fucking the bus debates once and for all. If Zion Williamson was on Ozempic, because there's no way he's pushing Supermax. He's overfeeding his Supermax over potential alone, and people are on that shit. And also, NBA fans, we are still on this. The 2025 NBA offseason, like 2K17. For all you frauds, because I know there's a lot of NBA fans that are frauds. It's okay that you are, though. I'm not mad. This is not your job. You can like the sport. Just be open a bit. Just be open about it if you're not that committed. I've seen the pre-order sales for NBA 2K26. And a person already spent $600 before the game even was uploaded to his account. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? For the love of me. Like, hold on. Let me look up NBA 2K real quick. Because there's no shot. I swear, sometimes sports fans be masochists. I mean, yeah, you kind of have to. But you're seeing, like, niggas be flexing this. Giving one person a retweet and a copy of 2K and a PlayStation. You know what you're going to do with those PlayStation cards. I really thought that was Julian Newman for a second. Like, they're just giving away VC. Guys, do yourself a favor. For all you guys feeling like 2K isn't improving, don't buy it. I got 2K25 for free in just a couple months after it was already released. You're not missing shit. You have the NBA season. You have several other 2Ks that you could play. Shit, some of you guys don't even do the My Career. You spend 2 paychecks worth of VC just to play the park. You guys don't even play park. You guys play rec. And you my team, nigga. Guys, I apologize. Sometimes you my team guys on a pink diamond. I see content creators spend $2,000 worth of fucking virtual currency. Yeah, the VC's not for Vince Carter. It's for virtual currency on goddamn temporary virtual ownership. You guys forget that the server's cut off in like 2.5? What are you spending an extra $600 fucking dollars for? Just to validate yourselves. You know what's more important than NBA 2K? You could have spent that $600 on a new pair of kicks. Put that down payment to a whip. Paid some bills. Bring that girl that you like to that date you always wanted. There's like a lot of things you could have done with that money. But no, I gotta hear that guys be going financially in the red because they spent their VC on most of their money on VC. And you guys be concerned about the badges. You guys be concerned about the new rebound timer. 7-3 build. You can make your own Victor Wembanyama now. For the love of God, NBA 2K needs to stop. I hope that, because I think we gave too much flack to NBA 2K25 fundamentally, it's not a bad game. It's just the online repercussions of when the server's off. They don't really concern themselves with the offline content and how much of a grind fest it is to like psychologically manipulate you guys that you need to spend your own currency on a game that is that's making sure you play the game to earn some of its content. Ronnie 2K, I know you wear a lace front, bro. You're not safe. How it feels after pre-ordering 2K26 today, but not in July. Today and not in July. Why? Why? I didn't see F1 yet, though. I heard he did an astounding job in this movie. This actor, he's English. I have not seen F1 yet. I want to see that movie. It has Brad Pitt in it as well. All of this for Carmelo Anthony. Well, let me check pre-orders. We're going to look at this together. Because you guys got to know that this is fucked up. This is what you guys be paying on. Just $10 off pre-order. It's still going to tax them $140. For a video game? This is for a pair of Jordans. On sale. Your son needs a new pair of shoes, but you get him a new fucking 2K that he's going to drop in 2 months. Still can't win play now. He still can't make his own jump shot on time. Only plays Rec League. Still doesn't have his own jumper in real life. And then he says he's not going to buy the new one. The cycle just continues. It continues. And continues. And guess what? Knowing it's modern gaming, what makes you think that people want the regular edition of NBA 2K26? I'll let you guys wait. Who? I bet people are buying the more expensive version. Just because it's going to give you bonus VC. Not because it's not going to give you an extended content. I don't give a fuck about Carmelo Anthony like that. Respectfully, of course. I love Carmelo. Can I extend this? You guys can like zoom in over the screen right now because my vision is terrible. So you get a bonus 100. Your pre-order bonus will always be 10,000 extra VC, but you get 135. Game Pass. Gatorade, more Gatorade bonuses, 150 skill boosts, 25 games in, and a cover jersey, not even a real jersey. Like, remember when you actually pre-order, you get a bonus, a deluxe edition of a game, you get a physical accessory or extra content of the video game. Like if you guys got like Fallout or some shit like that, or BioShock, you get like merchandise or a sculpture, an action figure, a manual, a bonus disc, a director's cut. Motherfucker, most of this shit is virtual. Explain that to me. Explain that. I'm trying to get the gist of why you're spending an extra 100. You're still going to spend extra after you get the max pre-order. Leave No Doubt edition, you're still going to spend an extra couple $100. I bet people are. They're not going to lessen. They're not going to increase your luck on my team when you get the Leave No Doubt edition. Superstar edition, you're still going to spend an extra half a band, bro. You 2K niggas need to get a job. I'm sorry. I apologize. You get a NBA 2K puffer jacket without the pre-order. You get an SGA cover jersey without the pre-order. All this shit for virtual for virtual classes and points. For a limited time only content if you're not really valuing it. Look, I hate telling people what to do with their money, but you shouldn't have shit to complain about. $2K 25 early. Oh no, this is August 24th. So the cover jersey, I bet when it comes out on the Switch too, they're gonna make you lick the metal part. Like, this is just embarrassing, folks. Leave No Doubt edition. Remember, like the last two 2Ks, they give you at least League Pass. Motherfucker, at least give me a whole year worth of goddamn. Oh my god. At least give me League Pass. Give me Peacock. Give me a full year of a free Amazon subscription. What's the extra 150? What's the extra $70 coming from? For virtual perks that are temporary. What value am I getting for my dollar here? This is ridiculous, folks. I'm too sick to be doing this shit. I'm too sick to be losing my patience. And I'll be hearing protests about make the 2K cheaper. Motherfucker, stop buying the make the VC cheaper. Stop buying the VC. Everybody was so up in arms with a streamer. It wasn't Rikai. I think it was some other streamer that knows Kai Cenat. He's notable on Twitch. Whatever dumb shit he does involving women, or probably doing pranking streaming, or he knows Duke or some shit, coming around saying like, "Man, make the VC cheaper." On Ronnie 2K patting his lace front like a new nigga's coming into the house. Like, bro, I swear to God, if they come out here saying make the VC cheaper, they've been doing this since NBA 2K13, folks. They've been doing this since NBA 2K13. They are not going to stop. They are not going to stop, fam. What makes them stop if you stop? Giannis Antetokounmpo with an incredible production today. 31 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, going 14 of 20 with Greece. Big Three reportedly offered Caitlin Clark $15 million for 10 games per ball is life, but she declined, even though that's a life-changing money. Yet again, WNBA players don't want to be rich. They just want to be validated. I'm joking. Like, you just get a My Career puffer jacket, my nigga, for like $150. You get a Summer Pro Pass, a Leave No Doubt with a Galaxy Opal. So 2K really proves that it's pay to win with perks. And you know that they only keep the servers on for like 2.5 years and you guys are still going to eat it up. I don't get you people that play 2K religiously, bro. I play like my NBA. I make one My Career player. Sometimes you guys have like 5 builds and you financially invest them like your children. And then you know you got nothing to eat. And then you get in the Superstar Edition like you special or some shit. It really be concerning me. Like, goddamn. And these are just pre-order numbers. There's no shot. Pre-order numbers are getting this crazy. This is getting embarrassing. Falcons, come to the Falcons. Micah Parsons, when he arrived over in AT&T Stadium, Parsons responded with a make the call gesture. Oh yeah, because of his contractual disputes. Yeah, he's probably going to sign over a new deal in the last minute before they cut off deadline, because cut day's already here, and we know Michael Parsons is still going to probably be in plans for Dallas. I still believe in that. I still feel like this is just contractual disputes. It would put in pressure mode, knowing Michael Parsons hasn't been that involved around the preseason, and he's now pushing over his trade requests. He feeling like he got leverage. NFL has released 4 social justice messages for players allowed to choose between to wear in between the black in their helmets. So for the rate, oh wow, okay, all right. Who made this? Where the white women at? Think Latinas can stay. All right, that we understand. Jesus, LeBron James is a bitch. Damn. Nah, they gotta be thick. It's not Whitey. Stop blame shifting. Take accountability. Look in the mirror. Is this for women? Nah. This is crazy. Here we go. The Cowboy slander is insane. And I'm here to support it. We are all here to support Cowboy slander in this channel, folks. I'm for the people. And we support Dallas Cowboy slander in the United States of America. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. Shedeur Sanders is not bothered. Hold on. Shedeur Sanders was asked about the controversial entertainers and competitors comment from fellow Browns rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel from last Saturday during the preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Sanders isn't fazed about it. Sanders explained that Gabriel's comments did not impact him, noting at Gabriel addressing him on the plane ride back from the Cleveland and in a preseason game, clarifying that Sanders personally at the entertainer, and he is referring was the media, not Sanders. Gabriel's quote came from a live televised interview during the third quarter of the Browns' Week 2 preseason game. Third-round pick had just seen the first NFL action after sitting out the preseason opener with a hamstring injury. Gabriel got the start against Philadelphia, a pick 6, impressed, completing 13 out of 18 passes, 143 yards. Yeah, he did have an efficient game before pick 6. Yeah, I don't know if this is creating over friction, and I guess it's like creating media impact involving Shedeur Sanders' clout. With Shiloh Sanders, I heard he got released by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also released that guy that was like 400 pounds, I think. What's his name? Tampa Bay just released him. They had him doing cardio, putting on a weighted vest, and then waved it. Not even getting plays in, not even pushing snaps, not even pushing him over in the practice team to at least condition him for the NFL level. And he was like 6'5", nose tackle. Let me get him right here, because Tampa Bay's already a competitive team, and I guess they were not losing patience for a person that's not fitting over the standard with his size. and he's not making the time to make weight, and knowing that it's not that close from the NFL season, they can't leave a contract on the will they, won't they, make weight to compete in a high level and taking over roster depth. So I can understand that notion of waving him off before the NFL season starts. Let me look for his name. I know he's a rookie. He was an undrafted free agent. So it could be possible he could probably just miss out over a year. Not Nash. Hushmusher. He's a defensive tackle. Yeah, he was like waived recently. Was it Devon J. Thomas? Was his name Devon J. Thomas? Yeah, undrafted free agent from Penn State. Devon J. Thomas. No. Different guy. Plays for the Dallas Cowboys. No, he played for the Dallas Cowboys. He got waived recently. Samoan, too. God damn. Why they got rid of them? Yeah, who's a rookie? Like 400-something pounds and you waived them. Oh, God damn it. Is this supposed to be... Oh, is this military-based? Oh, Jesus. Arizona Cardinals rivalries uniforms are sick until you realize that they look like a tortilla. Oh, God, Cardinals, they do look like a tortilla. I don't know if this is based on the desert of Arizona, of Phoenix, Arizona, or this is... I thought this was also reference to Patrick Tillman. The guy who used to play for the Cardinals as a safety. That's crazy. The tortilla references. We're getting potato references. Oh, my Lord. Eggs? Wait, what type of eggs are those? Cardinal nests. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop! The slander won't stop. Yes. Yeah, yes, folks. The Arizona Cardinals uniforms are based on a Crunch Wrap Supreme. Holy shit. Oh, yes. The guys are already getting it hot off the factory for the uniforms. Uniform crew is already setting up for the Arizona Cardinals season. What in the are these all white uniforms for the Bills based on the snow? Oh, but look at the storytelling with the desert. It looks like a tortilla. Oh, my Lord. Just stop. Just stop it. Saquon Barkley leaps over the proposal. Oh, look at this, folks. The Chiefs' offensive line are here. Set as always. Looking consistent every year for Patrick Mahomes to get a first down. All right, we're not going to go there. Ew. Jason Kelce always looking like he caused some fuck shit around his brother. You can barely tell who causes the trouble and who actually tries to stop the trouble. Oh my God. Cracker Barrel. Even though I heard there were leaks of the president of the United States trying to bring back the Redskins name. It's our redacted name. Oh, well, it finally happened. Congrats to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Even though people thought this might go under and cause a Super Bowl loss, relationships are the reason for Travis Kelce's Super Bowl losses. What's the glaze going to happen? We just had week 0 of college football started. And we already had some fraudulence in the college football season to begin. But I am so ready for some college football. I am so ready for some college football. Boise State got Southern Florida. Wyoming plays Akron. Then we got Rutgers versus Ohio. More of the marquee matchups will be probably around Saturday. Missouri got Central Arkansas. I think it's an FCS school. Western Georgia versus Wolves. Oklahoma State faces off against Tennessee and Martin. Nebraska versus Cincinnati might be a tough game. Actually, be a big game to watch come Friday. It'll be around later tomorrow afternoon. Houston versus Stephen F. Austin. Buffalo versus Minnesota. We got Western Michigan versus Michigan State. Kansas State versus Wake Forest. West Florida versus Argonauts, Lenore Ryan Bears. Georgia Tech versus Colorado. Sam Houston versus UNLV. Central Michigan versus San Jose State. Wagner versus Kansas. Western Illinois versus Illinois. Inner city rivalry. So it's an interesting day around the 29th. And that's going to be on a Friday. But it's big Saturdays, folks. Big Saturday. Syracuse versus Tennessee. Interconference action between SEC versus ACC. And who does Ohio State has? I think a lot of people are going to watch Big Ten football this season. Because you either push over the fraudulent schools, or we're going to push over the narratives that the ACC are still like too big for their britches until like the playoffs come. And I guess it's still going to be like a major like argument point over the playoff seeding. But that's just to be determined. There's a lot of games to cover. Washington versus Colorado State, Hawaii. We still don't know what's going to happen involving Arizona versus Northern Arizona. Georgia Southern versus Fresno State. UTEP versus Utah State. USC faces off against Missouri State in a big David versus Goliath matchup. New Mexico versus Michigan. This might be an easy game for Michigan to start off. And LSU versus Clemson is going to be a big matchup. But Clemson hasn't really been the same since Trevor Lawrence era. Oh my God, it's been that long. They've been out of the national title seedings for a long time. Remember, this was a national title match from years ago when Joe Burrow was a quarterback. And that was probably the first time we saw Bo Nix as a super senior in the college level. God damn. He probably made more money than his rookie contract taking all those NIL deals from like 4 different schools at that time span. Because the time when like Bo Nix was still a quarterback, NCAA 13 came out. I'm kidding. Oklahoma versus Illinois State. Oh, Coastal Carolina could probably upset Virginia. I'm going to put that on my board. That's probably going to be an exciting matchup to watch. Oregon versus Montana State Bobcats. Arkansas got Alabama A&M. Oh, God. Alabama A&M hasn't been seen in years. And here's a big matchup for us: Alabama versus FSU. Alabama, we don't even know if they're still going to be the same Alabama. Losing so many linemen, and FSU need to get that fraud watch out of their mouth after going for such a low record last season. I think they only won 4 games after making the playoffs the year prior. But they're probably going to be the most favored coming out of the ACC still. And that's a concern. People were saying that they deserve to go over to the SEC to improve the rivalry between them and Florida Gators. We got Cowboys claim offensive lineman Trevor Keegan off waivers for the Eagles source. Skinny Luka drops 34 with 4 boards, 9 assists, 7 for 14. Yo, folks, if you want to hoop, just get Ozempic. Still, after losing like 40 pounds, you get accused of using Ozempic. So if you use Ozempic, folks, you guys can drop as much as Luka does for his own country. Oh, is it Ash by Elegance? Oh, I didn't know she was a knockout champion. Oh, God. Is that Macaulay Culkin? Yes, it is. Yes, it is Macaulay Culkin. We also got the Cardinals re-signing Aaron Brewer in place of defensive lineman Justin Jones. That's on the IR. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked by Besiktas with immediate effect. God damn, are they that bad? Bro, the Turkish league, I don't think, barely had 5 games. Hold on. So if anybody doesn't know, like, soccer, like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is kind of a legend for one of the biggest teams in England, like Manchester United. So that's a bit of a concern because he's had a reputation of not being the most acclaimed head coach that even translates in sports. So if we look at the Turkish Super League, right now that only has a minimum of 18 clubs. Besiktas, that he was sacked immediately and is placed 8th after 1 match. Why was he sacked? How are you sacked? What did he say? There got to be some legal trouble into this. 1 win. Yeah, I'm as confused as everybody else. He's given the bin after a win? Jesus Christ. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. So, Besiktas is only placed 8th. And I don't know if it was European competition that's held them back over, like, certain clubs already played a total of 3 matches to begin the season. Because Besiktas were probably preoccupied with European football. Yeah, they have the Europa Conference League. They lost 1-0. Yeah, they lost in the Europa Conference League qualifiers 1-0 to some team called Lucian. And they had their other match, Konyaspor, their second league match, postponed. So why the immediate sacking? That's a concern amongst itself. Manchester United always always in blood. Imagine been sacked in a farmers league like Turkey. He can't even coach a team again at the plumbers and farmers. Best to say Manchester United is terrible at managing. Obviously, different standards for Besiktas. They're like the third biggest team in Turkey. So I can understand that verdict of, is that Rick Ross? Shirtless, in front of a young man, and he's given a Miami. Is this supposed to be a Dolphin? Oh, so what's this rivals? What's this rivalry thing? Hold on. NFL rivalry. Uniforms, okay. Because we've seen a couple. Seattle Seahawks that look straight out of 2013 for a Pac-12 school. New England Patriots that look like shit. I swear, some of these are just inspired by Oregon uniforms. I'm not even going to push the envelope with these. So I guess it's supposed to be a replacement for the Color Rush uniforms. That's a New York Jet. That looks exactly the same as their before the decade. That looks like the previous decades. We just went over the Tortilla Arizona Cardinals ones. I'm guessing that's supposed to be the New York Giants. No, that's supposed to be the Patriots. The Rams is just black alternate uniforms. I like the 49ers one, but it's not different from the other ones, except more of a gold trim, a gold decal on the font of the 54. So not really much of a change. And the Dolphins one is just black. I guess these are for the teams that are playing overseas. Is every team in the NFL supposed to have this? This is not a drill. This is wheel. As expected. Just by Ian Rappaport, we got big news for Micah Parsons and his future for the Dallas Cowboys. Trading All-Pro Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers and agreed on a 4-year, $188 deal with 136 guaranteed? No fucking shit. Ian Rappaport just reported the trade. You got one of the more recognizable edge runners from the NFC East coming over to already a stacked NFC North to give more of a defensive edge that was missing for the Green Bay Packers linebacking core. That's insane. That's insane. For only 136 guaranteed, he's now one of the richest defenders in the NFL, probably. No. 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 Yes, folks, it's real. Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer. Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer. Not only you have a very effective offensive team now, you guys are going to hold over the ball and get more of a pass rushing defense now. This is insane. And they weren't really that stacked over the linebacking core. and they can edge over a wide 5 now. You know how much people even hate a deep back 3 down the secondary? We are going to see a lot of pass deflections now with this Packers defense. That's a headache and a half. Now you've got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Romeo Dobbs, that has been relatively a good All-Pro with Jaden Reed. But now the defense has just picked up a lot more steam because they finally got a notable threat that can just sweep around the edge and get over as an extra defender. With still Xavier McKinney that had a good season, Nate Hobbs, people were expecting him to push over to Baltimore, but of course the Packers were over in the conversation. But what did they trade? What did the Packers trade to get Micah Parsons off their books? Also, Tommy DeVito left the Giants. Yeah, I'm joking. I'm sure YTC's crying right now. His hometown hero is gone. R.I.P. for Tommy the Don DeVito. Don DeMarco's in the chat. Yeah, 4-time Pro Bowler. 3-time All-Pro. Defensive Rookie of the Year with 52.5 sacks. He has 9 forced fumbles and 4 fumble recoveries. He is now on a team that was at least picking up above 500 victories while losing their quarterback for the first half of the season after the Brazil game. And with the Lions on fraud watch, the NFC North is going to be cooked. We don't know what the Vikings are going to be like this season. The Bears could probably still pick up a good playoff record. But knowing their coaching staff is inconsistent as hell, Caleb Williams is already on fraud watch after a poor rookie season. This is insane. No, I got to DM. I'm sorry, I got to DM somebody. Hold on. What the hell? No way. No freaking way, folks. There's no freaking way. Hold on. Gotta tell YTC. Guaranteed, yo, that. What's the compensation? What is the compensation for this? This is nearly the equivalent to Deshaun Watson when he got traded. Without the allegations, Michael Parsons is just a podcaster. I thought they would push no leverages, and this was after he was also teased to go to Atlanta. But there's no future in Atlanta. There's no future in the NFC South. Just chaos in a wild card exit. Even though Vita Vea and Michael Parsons still sound like a match made in heaven, with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. But the best you could do is probably a wild card or divisional round. And the Packers with their leverage and needing to improve their defense. Bro, I'm sorry. I'm just shell-shocked. Yeah, YTC is like, we might finally beat Dak. Two games. They're like, this is insane. Folks, I was not expecting this. Micah Parsons to the Packers changes a lot. That's a notable defensive impact player that's out now. Out of the Cowboys books, bro. Now this is confirmed by the NFL. Ian Rappaport got that out in just 5 minutes before the NFL. And it's been Packers, other than Keyshawn Nixon and Isaiah McDuffie. And now you got one of the more consistent All-Pros that's worst season because he was out on IR. With the worst regular season in the Cowboys in the past decade. And now they make such a desperate move instead of just accede to his demands. Who do the Cowboys have on defense? They barely had a midfield to at least disrupt for pick sixes last season. I need somebody that's a Cowboys fan to explain if this is an upside. Because you keep your books free for who? You already paid your quarterback. You already paid CD Lamb. You pushing out money for George Pickens? Your third option is Jalen Tolbert. And now Micah Parsons gone for Dante Fowler. That's a few years older than him. Matthias LaFola, is your plan just to make your defense older to just wait until next offseason? That's insane. Cowboys are so fucked, folks. I'm sorry. Cowboys are so fucked. You thought I was concerned about Deebo Samuels leaving the Niners for the Commanders when Terry McLaurin was going to leave? Deebo had no leverage. He wasn't a consistent All-Pro. He was only an All-Pro once. He was only a Pro Bowler twice. And all we did was just sweep away the Cowboys. That's ain't no accomplishment. While Micah has shown to be somehow a media professional, also consistent, very optimistic, and he could be a game changer on the pass rush, even though he's undersized for his position. He's relatively an edge rusher for a guy that can play outside at linebacker. But this changes. I don't know if this really shifts the tide on the NFC North. Because people could still considerably, knowing the running depth on the Lions, and they still have the Hutchinson coming back from injury. They could still relatively leverage out a good 12-win season, knowing the Lions have just established themselves as more of a perennial contender for playoffs for the next few years, and the Cowboys have just levied themselves off because now they have a rookie contract quarterback that can actually be consistent, like Jordan Love. You have a relatively good halfback core. Your receiving core is young, fresh, and effective. And now you picked up an All-Pro defender for a guaranteed contract deal that still is relatively young. Now you can just shove off waivers if nothing cuts out. It's not going to be like another defender for guaranteed money that you cut off for sus reasons, right? Las Vegas. I'm not naming any names, by the way. I'm not naming any names. I can name a couple, though. Explain this in MLB terms. Cowboys might lose the next 40 weeks. Cowboys washed. Packers to the Super Bowl. Week 4 Sunday Night Football, Packers and Cowboys is going to be a movie. In exchange for what? Yeah, I'm still trying to get the overhauling total because he still gets his cash compensation. You can do that over a guaranteed deal after a sign and trade. So that's interesting because Michael Parsons, he's in a relatively young age at the linebacking position. We're still trying to push over. Oh, we got urinating tree. I legitimately hope Jerry Jones lives forever. He is the midwit that the NFL absolutely needs. Michael Parsons bid farewell. I am not reading a paperback farewell. Growing up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, I was one of the few kids in the neighborhood cheering the Dallas Cowboys. Nearly everyone around to support the Eagles. I always believed in the star. I wear the blue and white at Penn State. Then I carry those same colors in the NFL as a Cowboy. And it's more than a dream. It was a destiny. From the moment I arrived in Dallas, you embraced me and my family as your own. And as a family, you embraced me and my family as your own. You made a kid in the East Coast feel like at home in Texas. Every time I pulled up to work, every time I stepped onto the field, I felt the weight of pride representing you. And whatever. You requested a trade, nigga. You requested a trade. You wanted to leave. You know there was nothing good in Jerrysville and you left. Yeah, but Trey Henderson wasn't getting much over a guaranteed deal because it's near the regular season, and now everybody's pressure signing like a motherfucker. Dallas didn't push over this deal. Atlanta would have. San Francisco could have. So that's already a concern amongst themselves. Why are you thinking about time for some of these signings to happen? And now Michael Parsons is a goddamn Packer. And now we're going to get Packers haters. Again. And usually I don't even hate the Green Bay Packers fan base. Excuse me. I want to rise today and save this world. Yeah. Yeah. I want to rise today. Cowboys get Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Packers get Micah Parsons. Kenny Clark, the wide receiver? Or a lineman. Kenny Clark. We'll look up Kenny Clark real quick. Because does that fit a position that the Cowboys could use, or he could still push over a trade asset? But the Cowboys get 2 first rounds. That's at least a win. And Kenny Clark, that's not even like relatively an honorable starter on the team. So you don't even get a game changer for the position. Like, you still keep Romeo Dobbs. You still have Jordan Reed, Devontae Wicks, and Tucker Kraft. And you don't even lose any volatile linemen that I swear would have been more impactful of a trade. But you just push over a practical sign-in trade. For 2 first-round picks that don't even matter because you ain't... Nah, that's not as questionable. That's not as questionable as the Luka trade. This wasn't like a hit to the face. This was kind of... This was not a hit to the face because this was inevitable about the trade. This was inevitable. This was inevitable. I don't know if this is compared. You guys think this is the same as the Luka Doncic trade? Because at least you still had relatively notable starters. Like Anthony Davis was still a relatively more notable starter. He's won an NBA title and an All NBA forward for like a plus amount of years. Even though he was out of his prime, I think he was a bit injured. He was still pretty much injury prone. But it's still a relatively notable starter on a rotation that you guys could be in the win now phase for Dallas. That was the upside. And you levied out to pick yourself a first round guaranteed pick, even though that was probably to Washington. But those were reparation. Those were reparation first overall picks. Everybody knew it was rigged. And now they're doing over the same thing with Michael Parsons that had the Cowboys on chokehold for most of August. Oh, my Lord. Ooh, Kenny Clark in 2 first rounds. Ooh, what's up? Yeah, Magruder just slapping his damn self. It's a shame. It's a shame, folks. Kenny Clark is going to the Cowboys as part of the Michael Parsons trade. I don't see him as like a third string. Kenny Clark, left inside tackle. So he's a left defensive tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. So that means Carl Brooks will probably take over his position, and you get your edge rusher. Out of Micah Parsons. Interesting. Adam Pearce reflects on the 5-year anniversary of his one and only segment with Bray Wyatt. So it's going to be... People still don't rate Jordan Love to the equivalent of him being an all-pro quarterback. And I'm just trying to understand, like, what is wrong with Jordan Love? What's wrong with Jalen Hurts? What you guys don't feel like don't relatively make them an all-pro quarterback all because they don't push over 35 yards a season? Like, whenever people even rate them, they have to put up the same numbers as prime Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Like, motherfucker, when they say, like, oh, my God, I saw the most bullshit take from Damo from, like, Let's Keep It a Buck. And I don't know if it's on some hate watch shit because obviously the Eagles are the team they hate. They are the NBA champions. But if you're saying a quarterback on their rookie year is not as good, like Jaden Daniels had a good rookie year, but you're saying he's not as good as Jalen Hurts, even though he's probably not that efficient and can lose to actual NFL teams. You just hate the quarterback. Like, goddamn. Bruh. Dallas sports fans gotta hate it the most. Dallas FC is always mid. The Texas Rangers have been in a championship, a fallout after winning the World Series a couple of years ago to the Diamondbacks. Then you guys lose your 2 top main stars on your teams. That's crazy. Dan Campbell seeing that he has a plan for Micah twice a year now. Oh, my God. I can't wait for Packers-Lions. Yeah, this trade package is insane. If you guys push over the detail, we already got This is less controversial because this was premeditated over his trade request. So you guys should have seen this coming that he was going to lever over. Did you Cowboys fans that Jerry Jones was going to pony up and push over the move? Just let me know. Just let me know. Yeah, we're going to cut off the stream here, folks. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the weekend. I'm going to go rest up. I'm going to catch you guys later. What an insane way to end off. With, God, Micah Parsons is a Packer.